Hey there. My voice may be a little bit different from what you're used to. This is not because I've been taken over by aliens or anything, it's just because I have a bit of a cold. But clearly no cold will stop me from doing another fountain pen review. So, today I would like to have a look at the final Waterman pen in my collection. I've already reviewed the Hémisphère, I have reviewed the Harmonie, and today we're going to look at l'apostrophe, or the apostrophe. Apostrophe rhymes with catastrophe, sort of, and in some regards maybe that name is applicable to this pen. In other regards I don't think it's that bad. So let me first start by saying that I got this pen as a corporate gift in a set with a ballpoint pen along with it. I will cover the ballpoint pen too, but in a little less detail than the fountain pen. I think this is the cheapest pen that is produced by Waterman, and that is something you need to take into account when you think about this pen. Clearly you cannot expect a pen of this caliber to give you the exact same writing experience as a pen that costs 10 times as much. I think the retail price for this pen would be something about 35 euros. It may depend a little bit on the spot where you get it, but I think that is about the price you could expect. As I said, I got it for free, which is something I like, and which compensates for some things. Let's just cover the pen. I will start at the top. All of the gold details you see are not gold. It's impossible a 35 euro pen to have real gold detailing. I don't know which material it is, but I have to say it looks nice. I also like the lacquer. I don't know whether the camera can do real justice to that, but I do think that it looks nice. It is a very deep, saturated red. It may look a little lighter on the camera, but in reality it's very deep red. It's lacquered in a very nice way, which gives a nice, well, not real depth to the pen, but it does give a sort of visual texture. It's very smooth, but it looks like there's some kind of, contrasting stuff going on. I think that's about the vaguest description I've ever given, but you should just check it out for yourself. This is the red one. I know it's also available in blue, possibly in green. There's a lot of color variations, and it's always this nice lacquered type of deco, which I actually like, and I like the gold details, which gives it a nice classy look. The shape is completely unexciting. I mean, this is just, it's not even cigar shaped. It's very, very, very mildly tapered. This is a little bit more narrow than this part, but that's about everything to be said about the shape. It's not exciting in any way. Another gold-like cap at the end, and it has the trademark split clip that you always see in or on Waterman pens, with a little slit somehow incorporated. So that's it. It has the Waterman logo, which I am absolutely convinced you cannot see, but that's fine. It's just a W in a what do you call this? A shape with 6 corners, angles, whatever. Hexagonal, pentagonal, hexagonal. It's hexagonal. A W in a hexagonal shape. On this little ring it has Waterman, and on the other side it says France. And that's about it. So let's take a look at the actual the nib. I got this with a fine nib. As I said, I just got this, so I didn't have a choice. The nib is my biggest problem with this pen, because the nib is scratchy. It's very scratchy. So scratchy that sometimes when I write with this on not even the worst paper in the world, I will get paper residue at the very tip of the nib because it just scratches along the paper. Now clearly that's a big flaw. Maybe that is because this is a fine nib and it's pretty hard. Maybe in a I don't know, if you got this pen with a medium nib, perhaps it wouldn't be such an issue. I'm not sure. I don't have any reference material on that. It does write well. The feed is okay. It keeps up with my writing, which is pretty fast at times, so I have no complaints there. The nib is, I don't know what material. It's most definitely not gold for that price, but I don't know what exactly it is. It looks like gold. I can't even imagine it's gold plated, but who knows. The grip section, very mildly tapered, of a very hard plastic. This doesn't feel like rubber, it really feels like plastic. There's a minimal texture thing going on there, which makes sure it's not entirely smooth, so it does allow a bit of a grip, but because it's not really tapered, doesn't really have any shape to it, I don't think it's the most comfortable pen to hold. To my surprise, it takes a converter, a standard Waterman converter, which I take out a bit carefully because I did have it inked up a moment ago. So that's a standard converter. You can just use it. You can also put in Waterman cartridges, which I think are proprietary. Or are they? No, I think you can fit international cartridges in here, but you cannot fit international cartridges in a Parker, which someone just pointed out to me. So you can probably use international cartridges in there, but I'm not sure because I never do that. If I use this pen, I use it with a converter, so I'm not absolutely sure about that. Sorry, you have to look it up for yourself. It's a bit of homework. What else can I say about this pen? It's not bad. I don't want to give you the impression that it's bad, because it isn't. It's just that this particular nib, to my liking, is too scratchy. Maybe that is because it's fine. I'm not sure. If you're looking for a cheap pen, a cheap-ish pen, there are cheaper pens than 35 euros, but if you're looking for a pen you can take with you without being afraid to lose it, or if you're looking for a pen to start your fountain pen collection, I don't think it's bad. The only thing is, I would not get the fine nib. Just get medium, maybe even broad, because fine in this case is pretty fine, and then I think you will be pretty okay. So just for you ballpoint pen lovers out there, you can still save your souls, just switch to a fountain pen. But if you're really unwilling to change your habits, then you can also get a ballpoint pen. This looks really, it's clearly a similar design to the fountain pen, which is actually what was meant to be the case, right? Because it's like a set. So you got the goldish clip, the gold ring, the gold thing at the tip/nib. We call that with a ballpoint pen, tip or nib, or well, the thing that writes. I'm sorry, I have a cold. I'm not the mental acuity I'm used to. It's sort of lacking. The gold thing here again, this sort of end cap, which I kind of like. Again, this looks classy. You could put this in a shirt pocket and it would look very fine. You can open it. It will just take a standard Waterman cartridge, which you can buy at pretty much every office supply shop. So that's actually good. Should you be, in a foreign country or on a conference or whatever, you're not at home and you don't have any ink with you, you can probably get this pretty much everywhere. So that's actually a good thing. Fits in there, screws in place again. Now the funny thing about this is that when I give this to someone to, write their name with or whatever, they always start twisting, but then nothing happens. You just open up the pen. It looks like a pen that you would screw to use. Did I just say that? I mean, you just, as I said, I have a cold. Sorry. It's like a pen that you would sort of, you screw the cap and then it would open, but it doesn't. You just push it, and then the writing tip comes out. You push it again and it disappears again. And that's a pretty nice mechanism. I kind of like that. The downside to that is that it's a bit easier to accidentally, open in your shirt pocket. But hey, I mean, pen lovers like living on the edge. You put it in your shirt pocket anyway, just see what happens. Excuse me. So, that was what I thought about the pen. Both pens are nice. I actually would not hesitate to recommend both of them. Clearly the fountain pen is on the cheaper end of the fountain pen spectrum. There's nothing wrong with that. But as I said, you cannot expect a pen of that magnitude to give you the same writing experience as a $300, $400, $500 pen. That's the sad truth, but it's the way things are. So, if that's okay with you, and you want to get this pen, do so. I'd suggest getting a medium or a broad nib, not a fine nib, and then I think you should be fine. The pen does look nice. It's not that bad to write with, and actually the the nib tends to give you just a little bit of flex. Now, don't expect a flex pen, don't expect a semi-flex pen, but I was surprised. I thought this would be a very, very hard nib, and actually you can get a little bit of line variation, which I thought was a pleasant surprise. So what I'm going to do next is I'll show you how the fountain pen writes, and that's it. Have any questions, any comments? Put them below, and I'll see you later. Okay, so writing with the Waterman Apostrophe. In this I've got Noodler's Blue Nose Bear ink, which may not be the most common ink, but I think it's pretty wet, and that's interesting to demonstrate this fine nib. So let's see. You hear the scratch, I think. Line variation. Actually, some variation is possible, which makes this nib not exactly as hard as a nail. Let me demonstrate some variation in writing. So there is definitely some line variation possible, which I think is a good thing, and actually that is a compliment to the nib. It's not as bad as it may seem. I think it's scratchy, but there is some flexibility, which in such a cheap pen is actually fairly impressive. It is fine. It doesn't allow you to cover a lot of ground with a lot of ink very quickly. You see there's a lot of white in between there. Yeah, but that's just inherent to a fine nib. If you do like fine nibs, blah blah blah, some Shakespeare, what I've seen by time's foul hand effaced, etc. So I think that should give you an idea. So I would say thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.